Everyone assumes they know themselves fully, but Carl Jung argued that every person carries an entire hidden half, one built from everything they were taught to disown. In this video, you'll discover 25 Jungian psychology facts about the hidden self we all carry and rarely face. Fact 1. The shadow defined. Jung described it as everything about ourselves we refuse to acknowledge, pushed out of conscious awareness. Fact 2. Projection. The traits that irritate us most in other people are often disowned pieces of our own shadow. Fact 3. The persona versus the shadow. The more polished the public mask, the larger the hidden self growing behind it. Fact 4. Shadow work. Jung believed confronting these disowned traits, not eliminating them, was the path to psychological wholeness. Fact 5. The golden shadow. We don't just repress negative traits, we also bury talents and strengths we were taught to downplay. Fact 6. Dreams as messengers. Jung believed the shadow speaks most clearly through dream figures we find threatening or repulsive. Fact 7. Collective shadow. Jung argued entire societies can project their disowned traits onto a common enemy or scapegoat. Fact 8. The archetype layer. Beneath the personal shadow, Jung theorized a deeper shared layer of universal human material. Fact 9. Individuation. Jung's term for the lifelong process of integrating the shadow instead of fighting it. Fact 10. The mirror trigger. A sudden, disproportionate emotional reaction to someone else's behavior is often a shadow projection in action. Fact 11. Repression's cost. The more forcefully a trait is denied, the more likely it resurfaces uncontrolled, often at the worst moments. Fact 12. The trickster archetype. Jung linked chaotic, rule-breaking impulses to a shadow figure trying to loosen an overly rigid persona. If you've related to more of these than you expected, that's exactly who this channel is for. Subscribing costs nothing, and it's the one signal that tells YouTube to keep showing you this instead of everything else fighting for your attention. Now, Fact 13. Childhood conditioning. Much of the shadow forms early from traits that were punished or shamed by caregivers. Fact 14. The anima and animus. Jung theorized a hidden inner opposite gender aspect that also gets shadowed and projected outward. Fact 15. Creative shadow work. Art, writing, and dream journaling were Jung's preferred tools for dialoguing with the unconscious. Fact 16. The enemy as mirror. Jung suggested the person you resent most may be modeling exactly what you've buried in yourself. Fact 17. Shadow and addiction. Unacknowledged shadow material is often theorized to resurface as compulsive or self-destructive behavior. Fact 18. Integration, not indulgence. Jung was explicit that facing the shadow doesn't mean acting it out, but understanding its root. Fact 19. The night sea journey. Jung used this myth-based metaphor for the psychologically difficult descent into one's own shadow material. Fact 20. Shadow in relationships. Couples often unconsciously choose partners who carry the exact traits they've disowned in themselves. Fact 21. The wise shadow. Some repressed traits, once integrated, become sources of assertiveness or creativity rather than danger. Fact 22. Cultural shadow shifts. What a shadow contains changes across generations, shaped by what each era teaches people to suppress. Fact 23. Active imagination. Jung's technique of consciously dialoguing with inner figures to surface shadow material directly. Fact 24. The cost of denial. Jung warned that an unexamined shadow doesn't disappear, it simply operates from the dark, unseen. Fact 25. Wholeness over perfection. Jung's core argument, true psychological health isn't a spotless self, but a self that has met its own shadow and stayed standing. The shadow isn't the enemy. It's the unfinished part of you, waiting less to be defeated than to finally be seen. You made it through all 25. That already puts you ahead of most people who click away early. If you want to stay in this rabbit hole with us, subscribe and turn on notifications so you catch the next one the moment it drops. Like this. If you learned something new, drop a comment on the fact that surprised you most and send this to someone who needs to see it. See you in the next one.